What's going on YouTube? I am back with another mail day, and today's mail day is actually a little bit different than usual as most of these cards are PSA 9s, which I personally don't usually buy. But thanks to the Sports Card Investors Market Mover tool, I was able to find tons of undervalued cards. And I'll go over the reasonings and price points as to why I thought these cards were extremely undervalued at the time. But if you're new to the channel, my name is Dakota. Welcome to Cards Over Stocks. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get into this mail day and let's go ahead and see what we got. And like I said, most of these are PSA 9s, which is really unusual for me, but some of these are so undervalued that I couldn't pass them up. So I'll go ahead and cut these open and we'll go ahead and get into it. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and see what we got. So with the first package, we have, like I said, a big thank you to the Sports Card Investor and his Market Movers tool, because I was able to find tons of undervalued cards and it's honestly made me quite a bit of money recently. I told myself I wasn't gonna buy it because personally it is a little expensive. I think it's right out 50 bucks a month, but I got it for a month just to test it out and it's definitely been well worth it. And if I can get this first one open. First card we have is, thank you for using painter's tape, I will have to say. That's very appreciated. First card is, boom, a Kobe White Panini Prism PSA 9. And Kobe at the time was very undervalued in my opinion. They were right around $30 and his PSA 10 was pushing the $200, $225 range. So when the ratios came into play, which I usually like to base it on, if the PSA 9 is under a fourth of the PSA 10 price, I definitely think it's a buy. And this one was definitely pushing that limit. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and Kobe is a pretty popular player I've noticed in the markets lately. So I've been trying to pick some of these up before next season starts. The next card we have is more, and these people did not use painter's tape. I will recommend you guys, if you guys are shipping stuff, use painter's tape, especially on the inside of these packages, because it is just so helpful when people open them up. Next card is Kylo Murray, and this time it is another PSA 9 because his PSA 9s at the time were around $100 and his PSA 10s were pushing that $500 range. So as you guys can see again, the ratio difference from the PSA 10 price to the PSA 9 price was just out of whack and the market just hadn't quite caught up to it. So I was able to pick up a few of these, and now these are pushing like $160, $175. So I've already made $60 to $75 on every single one of these that I bought. And that is a Kylo Murray PSA 9. Next one we have Do Not Bend. Let's see what this one is. And I will have to say I am kind of embarrassed at some of these cards that I bought in the past week. I bought into the hype of some players. Not Bull luckily, but I want to say, nope, not this one either. This one, PSA 9, Eloy Jimenez 2019 Topps. Now, the main reason I bought this one is I bought it for less than the price of grading cards, which I couldn't pass up. It was right around $18 on eBay. So if I'm able to buy a card that is less than what the grading fees are nowadays, I think that's a definite buy, especially on the young, exciting White Sox team. I think this team is definitely going to have a special year if they can turn it around and their pitching staff stays healthy. But I do like Eloy's potential, and I still wish he was a Cub. But beggars cannot be choosers. Next card we have is And I'll put some graphs up of some, once I edit everything, and show you guys some of the charts that I was looking at to, you know, kind of further explain what I mean by the price differentials and the ratios. But next card we have is Lamar Jackson. 2018 Panini Prism Lamar Jackson PSA 9. This was another card that the ratios just didn't make sense and the market hadn't quite caught up to it. The PSA 10s were pushing 2,500 plus, and these PSA 9s were sitting around $250, $300, and that was almost an eighth to a ninth of the price of those PSA 10s, which is outrageous. That just shows you that the market hadn't quite caught up to it, caught up to the fact that the PSA 9s were rising so fast, and the PSA 10s were rising so fast, and these PSA 9s just hadn't quite caught the market. But yeah, these were extremely undervalued. They're still undervalued in my opinion right now. They're sitting around $500, and the PSA 10s are pushing that $3,000 range. So this might be a card that I continue to buy up until the market does, you know, react and catch up to it. That's something you guys need to look out for, is a delay in the markets. If you spot that PSA 10 is rising super fast, go after the PSA 9s. There's so much money there that you can be made. Up next, nice little eBay note, and I highly recommend this too if you're selling on eBay. It's definitely a little nice thing to see. Thank you for your purchase. Positive feedback appreciated. Instagram CTC cards, enjoy. Well, thank you for the purchase. Next up is a 2019 Topps Chrome Pete Alonso PSA 9. This was another card that I paid $18 for, which, you know, PSA charges $20 now to grade a card, so this was under the grade value. And another main reason I picked this up is, as you guys know, Gary Vee has mentioned Pete Alonso's name so many times, and I'm just waiting for him to post a picture of his Pete Alonso cards, and I'll probably flip this pretty quickly because I do like Pete as a player, but I don't think he has a very, very high ceiling. He could probably put up, you know, 50 home runs, but he's only going to hit that 250 range, and I'm just not super big on players that do that. But that was Pete Alonso. And this next card is a 2015 Home Run Derby Chris Bryant Topps update. I didn't buy this, so I really don't know where that came from, but I'm gonna have to see, because I did not purchase this, so I'm gonna have to figure out where that come from. But hey, Chris Bryant, that's definitely different. I've never actually received that before. And the next card we have, which they shipped in beautiful wrapping paper, which I don't recommend if you're shipping that way because that is not very protective. Next up is another Lamar Jackson PSA 9. Like I said, the ratios didn't make sense. It was an 8 to the 9th of the price of a PSA 10. So these were for sure buys, and I'm glad I was able to pick a few of these up. And once I started buying them, of course, the market did start to catch up, and they were just off the radar. And this next card and the last card is something I'm a little embarrassed at that I actually bought, because I bought into the hype. The baseball season started, and I couldn't resist buying it. And that is a PSA 10 2010 Topps Update Mike Stanton rookie card. I honestly don't know why I bought this. I usually don't fall for the hype, but this was just one card that as soon as I seen him hit a home run, I was like, I'm buying it. Baseball season starting, and I just have to buy it, But I really wish I didn't, because I don't think these prices since I bought have moved at all, honestly. All right, guys, like I said, I usually don't buy PSA 9s, but thanks to the Sports Card Investors Market Mover tool, I was able to find tons of undervalued cards out there. Especially when it comes to the baseball and the football market, I'm not too confident that the seasons are going to continue or even actually start. But if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And until next time, this was Cards Over Stocks.